We are busy today. We are trying a new antiques furniture fair today, and I don't expect much, but I'm just excited to see how it is, and I'm really happy that I'm taking you with me. First, let's prep for the morning. I have to have breakfast before a busy day, and then I'm going to attempt to make bread for the first time and meal prep a little breakfast for the rest of the week. Really good chili oil, which is so good on eggs. I really like to have fried eggs like this with rice and avocado. I just thought for breakfast I didn't want something so heavy, and I've had rice almost every single day for the last week. And it's so nice this because it's not too spicy. It has like a hint of sweetness. I love sweet chili, even though this isn't sweet chili, but yeah. Oh, just spilt it on the table. If this turns out really good, I'll leave the recipe below. If it turns out bad, then we'll forget this ever happened. You don't need a KitchenAid for this. I'm making this because I haven't been using my new KitchenAid, so I needed an excuse to use it. But when most people make this, they just kind of use a bowl and a spatula, and they're good to go. We need 3 cups of flour. This is half a cup, so 3. I feel like that's a lot of flour, but we're following the recipe for a change. I usually like to just guess with most recipes by eye, but with baking, you have to be so precise. 2 TSP of instant yeast. If you don't have these measuring spoons and cups, I'd highly recommend, especially for baking. I think it's quite important to be precise, and this makes everything a lot easier. 2 teaspoons of salt. If this doesn't turn out good, I'll be extremely disappointed, and then I'm going to give up baking forever. Okay, and then we're gonna mix that, mix. I really like salt, so maybe I add some more salt. No, we're sticking to the recipe. Behaves harder. Okay. How I've made a mess, I have no idea. But if this turns out good, I'll only make my own bread from here onwards, and I can't really have bread because of my gluten intolerance, but I feel like if I buy really, really high quality flour like I have, then maybe my skin won't react so badly. And I think a lot of people have gluten intolerance these days because flour is dyed and processed in a way that isn't good for our gut. At this point, now I've put the flour on the KitchenAid, I'm going to add the water and put it on quite a low setting so it kind of all mixes together nicely. 1.5 cup worth of water. Okay, so it feels quite moist. It does look a little bit more dry than the video, but I'm gonna leave this in the bowl covered for a couple of hours. I didn't realize how long you have to leave it. You have to leave it for 3 to 4 hours. Okay, we'll set an alarm. Surely I don't put it in the fridge. I just leave it out in a dry place, surely. Okay, alarm set. One of the best things I've bought for this kitchen are these clips. They've come in so unbelievably useful. So if anyone loves cooking, or they're always using flowers and packages, these clips will be your best friend. Since we're in the kitchen and I'm in the mood to make things, I had this sudden urge to make overnight oats. I've never even made it before, but I have been seeing it here and there on YouTube, and it's just got me thinking maybe overnight oats could be like a really nutritious, easy, quick breakfast. And the fact that you can just prepare it the night before, wake up, and you literally take your jar out of the fridge and you've got breakfast. Bash just suggested that I could put protein powder in it, because protein is very important, and we do try and have as much protein as we can during the day, so this would add an extra nutritious benefit. Good idea, Bashir.
Thanks, Sarah.
Do we have a nice one?
I think we have that chocolate coconut one.
Bash, you've had that for like 3 years.
I didn't open it though. Is it unopened?
I want to make a blueberry, banana and coconut overnight oat. And overnight oats, I was never really a big fan of because I didn't like the idea of cold, mushy oats. But then I had one from Pret and I didn't mind it, so it inspired me to make it at home. I know that I can make it much better than Pret, if I do say so myself. So when people make these, they make it look like such an aesthetic because they have these really big, beautiful glass jars. I don't have that. I have a small jar like this, or I have my plastic container. So I think for practical reasons, I will be using this, but for aesthetics with you guys, I'm going to use this glass one. But I'm just afraid that's probably not going to be enough. But that'll be enough for like 1 serving, and then this can last me throughout the week. I'm literally doing this by eye. I'm not following a recipe, but I will link a recipe below if this turns out really nice. And if it doesn't turn out nice, I will find a recipe which I trust. So that's chia seeds, which are full of fiber, and rolled oats. I think that would probably be enough. Let's also add some coconut flakes, just 1.5 spoons. Okay, I'm also going to add a dollop of Greek yogurt because Greek yogurt is really good for your gut as it's full of good bacteria. The blueberries that I blitzed smell so good. So this is what's going to make it like a nice, fun color. That looks like such a vibe. I'm going to add some milk. I'm going to mix it up. Bash just suggested that I could add some collagen into this. I think that's a great idea. Bashir, get me the collagen.
Okay.
This is the collagen I'm using. Collagen is so good for nail growth, hair growth, and glowing skin. Since we started eating a lot of collagen, we have collagen from sources like chicken broth. I have seen such a difference in my hair growth. And I know I'm wearing extensions, don't get me wrong, but I still see the difference when I don't have my extensions in. And my nails are starting to get a lot stronger. If you watch my last vlog, you'll know that my nails were breaking because of a really bad experience. They are already getting so much stronger and they stopped chipping. This was quite a lot of collagen for the amount of oats. Just to kind of mask the flavor a bit, I'm going to add some more blueberries. I'm going to do a pinch of salt, because why not? Electrolytes. Okay. This is my non-aesthetic one. Aesthetic, non-aesthetic. So I'm going to pop out, we're going to drive to this fair, and then we're going to come home. We'll check on the bread. I'm going to leave it for around 3.5 hours to rise. It's meant to double in size, by the way. I did just check on it. It hasn't really budged much, so if it doesn't double in size, I'll be fuming. So we'll come home and then we'll prepare dinner together. I'm thinking of doing jerk chicken mash with a slaw. Now that the weather's looking up, I'm motivated and inspired just to cook more at home and to film it for you. We are on our way to Brighton for a vintage furniture and flea market. I've seen it advertised so much on Instagram that I just felt like I had to go and check it out. I haven't got any expectations. I'm not going there thinking I'm going to come back with loads of stuff, and I'm simply in that mindset because I don't want to be disappointed. But I was very curious to check it out because it is mainly furniture focused, and we still haven't really furnished our house completely. There's still some bits we need, like nice chest of drawers, some mirrors. We have one big mirror in our attic and that's it. So that's what I've got my eye on, and maybe some little trinkets for the house as well, so some nice vases. We'll see. But I haven't got the highest expectations, but I'm very excited because I've seen it advertised so much that, yeah, I just felt like I had to go. I'm being driven by my chauffeur.
I'm excited to buy some fleas.
Some fleas?
I thought you said it's a flea market.
Well, it's advertised as vintage furniture and flea market.
How did flea market, like, how did that...
Yeah, how did that name...
An attractive, like, word.
Yeah, how did that name come about? Like,
because I kind of
everything's
feel
so
like
old that it's got fleas.
That's how I feel. I'm like, is tequila going to be safe at this moment?
We have tequila with us too. Our baby. Our baby gal. There is something about used furniture that I really like. I think it has character. The design from back in the day was more thought out. Pieces were made to last, whereas these days if you buy furniture brand new from certain places, they're not really the best quality. So going second hand is always our first option. Well, that was a flop. So there was hardly any furniture and everything felt so samey. It was kind of just like coffee tables and some really small side tables, and then people were selling some ceramics, but nothing special. I am actually looking for some cool ceramics, but I haven't found anything that really catches my eye. Yeah, super disappointing, but I didn't go intending to get anything, so it's so fine. I think I'm going to stick to auctions and just like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and designing things myself. All good though, means that I'm saving my money. I am working on something quite exciting. I know that I did say secondhand is usually our first option, but there have just been some pieces that I cannot find anywhere for a decent price. Okay, I could go onto First Dibs and buy all of the furniture I want, but it's all marked at like 20k and above, and I haven't got that kind of money yet. So I'm designing my own pieces with a company called Present Ltd. They help you with the journey of designing pieces from scratch, which is insane. So I'm making a sofa bed for this attic space. I've been looking for time for a sofa bed and I just can't find one that's fun or chic. They're just all they're just very standard, or they look very uncomfortable, and I need it to be comfortable, cool, and this space is very plain, so it needs to be bold and it needs to stand out. So these are the kind of renderings of what we have so far. I thought it'd be quite fun to share it with you guys because you are usually interested in that kind of thing. Gone for like a really fun, like retro 70s vibe with the sofa bed. We haven't confirmed the fabric just yet. This is like the kind of color scheme we're going for, and I think, don't you think, just like you can see down here, it would look so good, and I'll have like a nice comfy sofa to chill on whilst I'm up here filming and just hanging out. We love hanging out up here, and it folds out into a king size bed, so that will be really nice for when people come to visit. I decided to do piping on this sofa as well because I just thought it elevated it and made it look a bit more expensive and chic. The piping is kind of like an off-white cream. I'll get to see samples in real life and then I'll make like a decision. And then for downstairs, by our big white sofas, which are getting filthy, and my mum was right, Sarah, you're getting a white sofa, it's going to get so dirty, and it's in the process of getting dirty, but we move, it looks chic. We need an armchair to replace the poof because the poof just isn't an aesthetic, so I'm creating this armchair. I originally wanted to do it in like a wine cherry red, but it just wasn't in my budget at the moment, so I kind of went for this fabric that was inspired by my great aunt's sofa. When I went to visit her in Norway, I took a picture of it and this fabric just stayed in my head ever since. And you can see in this fabric that there's like piping. That's where I got the idea to do piping on the sofa bed. So an armchair in the same fabric as her sofa I thought would be really cool. And because we have such low ceilings downstairs, furniture does need to be light to lift the room, and anything too dark just kind of like will drag the room down a little bit and make it feel smaller. So the bigger the furniture, the lighter, the better. Bedside tables are so hard to come by. I just feel like you either come by really old tatty ones or modern ones that are just a little bit too generic. It doesn't have that wow factor. And then bedside tables I did find, which I loved, were from like Soho Home, which cost like $2,000 and above for a small little table like this. Or I would see some on First Dibs which were like $10K, and I was like, there is no way I'm spending that kind of money on furniture yet. Never say never, guys. Yeah, so I had to make my own ones, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. The shade of this bellwood is kind of light for me, so I wanted to do it in like a darker bellwood shade. So this is the shade I'm going for, and I'm going for this style. And don't you think they're so chic? Imagine two little bedside lamps on top of those two bedside tables next to our bed. It's going to look so nice. Unfortunately though, we don't have the most aesthetic bed at the moment, but that's something we'll look at later down the line. I could go crazy and just buy absolutely everything I want for the house, but living in the house for like 6 months has proved that you must take it slow when making decisions for a house. Don't rush into anything. If we rushed into things, we would be regretting it right now. For instance, we were thinking of doing this to our fireplace. There is no way we're doing that now. We're just like, okay, we've lived in the house now. We understand that whatever goes here needs to be light to make the room feel bigger. And this would have just made the room feel smaller and like more tight. And yeah, it wasn't right for the height of our walls. But instead, we're going to maybe go for like a lighter marble fireplace around, but again, I'm not rushing into that, but you can just see how it just lifts the room and makes it feel lighter. And when I say lighter, I mean lighter in energy, and just like the focal point being right there in the middle, you're drawn to it. So it needs to it can't distract you too much. That's why we're going to go for something a little bit more subtle than the original idea. But I don't know when this is going to happen. So this is like in the future. What else am I making? We've got, let me check. How can I forget? We are finally in the process of making our bathroom feel complete. You can see that this sink is kind of off to the side and we just have a singular mirror. And I'm a content creator. I create content in the bathroom when I'm doing makeup videos, and I need it to be an aesthetic. So I'm making this kind of vanity sink with a matching mirror. Again, the obsession with bellwood is real. It's so real. I love it. So I'm doing this like bellwood cabinet with a marble top sink and a bellwood mirror with lights down the side. I just think it's so fun. And also, I haven't really come across like a vanity area that looks like this, because everyone's kind of going for that like old English countryside chest of drawer vibe when it comes to sinks. And this is just so different. It's retro, it's fun. So I was like, you know what, let's go for it. Let's be daring and not be afraid of doing something different. So yeah, that would be really fun. And once I do get the furniture in real life, I'll obviously show you guys. So that's something I've really been looking forward to. I'm going to get changed into some cozies now, but I'll show you what I was wearing for the day. My pumps are from Repetto. They are so comfortable. It's like wearing ballerina shoes, and they're a really nice pale yellow tone. If you watch me on a regular basis, I showed you this vintage shirt. It's like a Victorian vintage shirt. It does look really small for me, but it's kind of meant to have that look. I just like how cropped it is. And I don't know if you remember, I was complaining about the stain that I think I made. I covered it with this pin. So this fabric folds over the stain anyway, and then this pin just holds this in place so this doesn't kind of flap up. So that's chic, and this is just from Vinted. The necklace is from Giulietta. My ring, Bash's dad found it for me. And the jeans, they're from a brand called Rollers. I think that's how you say it. But I just love that they're like a little bit baggy, and I've gone for a size up. Usually I'm a waist 26 in jeans. No, usually I'm a waist 25 in jeans, but these are 26, and I'm really happy that I sized up because they do have space, which makes them extremely comfortable. And yeah, I thought it was cute with the pale yellow shoes. Yeah, let's take a moment for these jeans. They really are the perfect shape for me. These are my favorite kind of jeans, I think. They have a bit of a barrel leg shape also. Okay, I'm going to head downstairs and just do a bunch of boring stuff that I've been holding off, like cleaning the car. Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs, Tequila. I don't know if you wanna come with me. You can stay up here, it's up to you. She's like a little teenager, but she is 8 years old. Before I get into my cozies, I just want to show you some art that we got back from the framers that we had framed, and we've been waiting like 6 weeks for these pieces to arrive, and they're finally here, so I want to show you. This was originally it still is, it's a silk Burberry scarf. And because it had the map of London, it's got the River Thames running across it, it was nice to have like a piece in the house that reminded us of where we come from. London will always hold a place in our hearts, so we decided to get this silk scarf framed. And it's from the Burberry autumn winter show that we attended. So it's got the time, the date, and then the map of London. And we decided to go with like a black frame to match the frame of the scarf. And then I'm going to also show you where it might go. We did think about putting it here, but the light is so low down and we couldn't move the light up. It would just look really unproportionate if we had it here. Unproportionate, is that even a word? Our downstairs bathroom has no life whatsoever. We have plans for this bathroom. I want to get it like some funky wallpaper. I want to have a mirror here, maybe build a cabinet around the sink. But this wall needed something above the toilet. So we're going to put the Burberry scarf there. So if you're a guy and you're taking a pee, you can look at the Burberry scarf. You might think it's a shame that we're putting it in the downstairs bathroom, which we don't really spend much time in, but look, it's not an art piece, it's just a silk scarf, so I think it's like a good place for it. And it doesn't it's not like a really statement piece that we want to necessarily have as our main art piece, but what I'm about to show you next is a really cool art piece, which I'm really excited about. I'm excited about so much. Home things make me so happy. Our friend, his name's Hector Trend, he's an artist, and he made us this, but originally he made us a piece, which was the main piece, and this was a scrap that Bash took because he didn't want it. And we decided, you know what, we love this scrap so much that we decided to frame it, and it's going to go here. So we've got the art light installed. It's literally just like a touch light. Ta-da! And we'll have it just right here. So as soon as you come upstairs, you'll see this piece. I was passing Rhodes Gallery in London and I came across an exhibition for an artist that I've been obsessed with, and I follow him on Instagram, and to my surprise his art was showing in this gallery, so I had to go in and have a look, and there were so many pieces that I had just fallen in love with, but my favorite ones had sold out. But I did query on one piece, so I'm in like negotiations with the gallery, so let's see if I get this piece. Fingers crossed. When it comes to art, I think it's quite important that you go for something that you'll enjoy looking at, and I know that sounds really silly, but a lot of people go for art just because maybe it's got really good resale value, or there's like a lot of hype around that designer that the art could be worth a lot. I think it's really important for me at this stage anyway. I'm not an expert in art. I have no experience in buying art, but as long as I buy something that I enjoy looking at and I would happily look at for the rest of my life, it's important to go for it if you're in that position.
No more buying designer bags and clothes, lots of art.
But that's how you know I'm really adulting, that I would prioritize buying a piece of art over a handbag that I really want. Okay, let's get cozy. Ta-da! I love weekends like this where I just get stuff done. You will think it's really boring, but I love cleaning, so I'm excited to clean the car. Lots to be excited about. My dough has not doubled in size. It's grown slightly, but definitely hasn't doubled in size. But I kind of knew I had gone wrong once I saw how dry the dough was when I did leave it to rest. But I think it could still taste good, and I'm still going to test it. I know I said I was going to do another one, but I don't actually have enough oven space to have 2 breads cooking at the same time, so we're just gonna have to work with this. But let's hope that it turns out good. Okay, now I'm going to score some dents down the side. Oh, this is looking so small. And I'm going to put it on some baking paper, and then that will go in my Dutch oven, which has been preheating whilst I've been doing this. Oh, oh my God. I almost touched that thinking that would be okay. Imagine. I was so close. Okay. You go in there. I guess you kind of want the baking paper to be tucked inside. This is cute. I want to take a pic. My first loaf, which could be a flop. It could go really well. Who knows? Right. Start playing around, Sarah. This is going to bake in the oven on 230 degrees for, I think, half an hour. I'll have to double check. Bake for 30 minutes with the lid on, and then take the lid off and bake for another 15 minutes to brown. Okay, it's time to take it out of the oven so I can remove the lid, and then I have to put it back for another 10 minutes. It's the moment of truth, kind of. Oh, it's beautiful. And it's yet to brown.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So this, it's looking so good. Whoa. Can't really see it properly, and I don't want to, actually, I'll pick it up for you. I don't want to pick it up, but I'm very happy with that. Okay, let's put it to brown for 10 minutes. I'm going to take it out and then just place it on this wire rack to cool down. Okay, now we're going to get started on dinner, and I'm going to show you how I make this slaw. I've shown you before, but I'm going to make it again because some of you are new here. Future husband has come to try the bread. It's really dense.
It feels heavy. I mean, it looks amazing.
It's bread, isn't it?
Yeah.
But look, I used zero skill. It was the easiest bread recipe
No, it looks amazing. You did
I
a
could
great
find
job.
online. So I'm not expecting much, and in life I don't expect much, because if I don't expect much, then I'm not disappointed. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
I'm sure it'll be great. Wow, it looks so good.
Yeah, it's quite spongy. But look, it isn't sourdough. It is normal. Oh, like it is a normal white dough.
Yeah, true.
And I think we're very used to sourdough.
Yeah, I feel like whenever we eat bread, which is obviously quite rare,
Okay,
it's usually
sorry.
sourdough.
Sorry about this unaesthetic bread, but
I'll
it's
have
just
this
a
bit.
taste. Cool, exciting. The bread's still a little bit warm, which is nice.
That's the best part.
Did you see Bash just sprinkled some salt? Okay.
If we're gonna be naughty, we might as well be naughty, right?
Uno, dos, tres. It's a bit doughy,
I like it, man.
but it's so good. I'm not even allowed to eat gluten, but I'm still doing it because life's too short. But from my last vlog, I did say I wanted to be more disciplined, but I really needed to try this. I really needed to choose my KitchenAid, so I have an excuse. Don't eat too much, we're about to eat dinner. I feel like I need to sieve the flour into the bowl next time for a lighter texture. I have some pointers that I'm gonna work on, but let me know if you're a bread expert what I was doing wrong.
Would you try and do a sourdough? Or is it long?
So long,
I feel like
I don't have the patience.
it's long to get your starter and all that, and
Yeah.
then once you've got it, it's quite easy.
Oh God, I need to stop because we're gonna have dinner. So overall, it was slightly stodgy, but it was absolutely delicious. And I think just with like a little bit of practice, I'll be able to get the texture right. And I would highly, highly recommend that if anyone is like me, can't bake for their life, but really wants to try and bake something, try that bread, because that was dead easy. Good morning. In my dreams, all I was dreaming about was breakfast. Just like being on holiday. Oh, an iced coffee with this would be amazing. A treat that Bash and I treat ourselves to when we're in Ibiza. There's this one cafe that does really fresh bread with tomatoes, this really light cheese, avocado with olive oil, salt, and it's perfect. And this really reminds me of it, minus the cheese. And the scraping of the garlic is so subtle. It's not overpowering at all. You just kind of taste that hint of garlic. Garlic likes to cling onto my breath, and Bash loves to point out most days when I smell like garlic, and I have garlic almost every day. So I'm sorry, Bash, every day you have to deal with my garlic breath. We are on our way to go climbing. We actually went around 2 weeks ago and it was my first time. I really enjoyed it. So now we're going back, but we're going for a lesson because there were roots on the walls that I just couldn't quite get because I haven't been taught the skill or technique. So we are both having an instructor show us everything that we need to do. And I'm also going to buy some climbing shoes because last time I rented a pair and they were dirty. I was like, I'm not wearing people's climbing sweaty shoes again. It makes me cringe just thinking about it. So yeah, we're gonna make our way to our first climbing lesson, which I'm very excited about.
You forgot to say that you were actually really good on your first time.
Thank you.
She was really good. I was impressed.
You're really good too.
Yeah, but I've done it before, so it's like, But you've never done it, you were good.
Yeah, but I really didn't want to fall off the wall, so I was holding on for dear life. I was like making sure that I wasn't gonna fall off. So I was like holding on, but yeah, let's go climbing. I have found a new hobby. Bouldering is so fun. I never knew it could like spark this much enthusiasm in me. When you look at a wall where I was, it's quite overwhelming with all the different obstacles, all the things to grip onto, but you have to grip on to whatever color route you decide to take. So the one that I attempted and I just couldn't do it was either pink or purple, I can't remember. And you can only latch onto those colors. So all the other ones around you can't use. Also like really challenging mentally because it's like a puzzle. You have to figure out, okay, how am I gonna get this leg onto each certain grip? Oh, it's so fun. And it's such a good workout. Like I felt ripped after I finished that. So yeah, if you have never tried it, try it. I didn't think it would be for me, but it really is. So I'm really excited to go back next week. For dinner, we are making just a staple that we have occasionally, crunchy fish. We have this maybe once every 2 weeks and it's so delicious. Bash makes it really well. So we're going to head down now. I freshened up after a sweaty bouldering session and we're gonna have crunchy fish. Once I finish cooking with Bash, I'm probably gonna hang up, but I know for sure we're going to catch up next week.